Ever felt like the whole world was built to keep you average? Good. That anger boiling inside you, that frustration when people overlook you, when life hands you scraps, when nothing moves no matter how hard you push, it's not a weakness. It's a signal, a message from your soul screaming that you were built for more. Society wants you tame, obedient, sedated. They want you addicted to pleasure, stuck in comfort, too numb to know you're being robbed of your greatness. But that fire in your chest, that's your weapon. It's your proof that deep down, you're not okay with being average, and you shouldn't be. If you ever laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, hating who you've become, asking why nothing ever changes, it's because you haven't used your pain. You keep waiting for motivation when what you need is rage, control, and ruthless consistency. The world doesn't care how you feel. It only respects results. So let them doubt you, let them talk, let them laugh. You don't need their approval. You need to wake up. This is your time. No more silence, no more fear. Channel it, own it, burn with it, and use it to build the life they said you'd never have. You've been brainwashed to believe that anger is a disease, that feeling of rage is toxic, that if you're angry, you're broken or unstable. But let me tell you something the world doesn't want you to hear. Your anger is not a curse. It's not a malfunction. It's one of the last real signs that you're still alive in a world designed to numb you. That burning in your chest when things go wrong, when people disrespect you, when life punches you in the face and tells you to sit back down. That's the universe reminding you that you were never meant to be average. But they've convinced you that the only way to cope is to suppress it. Breathe deep, meditate, swallow it down, scroll TikTok for a quick dopamine hit. Cry into your pillow. Talk to a therapist who's more lost than you are. And in the meantime, the fire that could have launched you to unimaginable heights turns to ashes, wasted on self-pity and excuses. You're not broken because you're mad at your life. You're not a failure for being angry. You're just waking up. The man you want to become, the one you see in your head when you're lying in bed at night staring at the ceiling, he isn't calm, he isn't soft, he's calculated fury. He's the product of pain that was weaponized. That version of you doesn't make peace with being broke. He doesn't accept being out of shape. He doesn't tolerate disrespect, laziness, or excuses. That man builds in silence. He lifts while others sleep. He works while others whine. He keeps score, and he uses every ounce of that anger to push harder, faster, further. But here's the truth. You will never meet that man if you keep sedating the fire inside you. You will never become him if you treat your emotions like enemies instead of tools. Real growth isn't pretty. It's not peaceful. It's war. And the first battle is between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. Anger, when uncontrolled, is chaos. But when focused, when forged in discipline and purpose, it becomes the single most powerful motivator a man can possess. I was angry when I had nothing. I didn't use it to complain. I didn't punch walls. I didn't break down. I trained. I learned. I executed. Every time someone laughed at me, I smiled. Not because I was okay with it, but because I knew that pain would fuel me. Every failure, every rejection, every moment of isolation, I stored it like ammunition. I let it harden my mind. I let it sharpen my ambition. And when the time came, I unleashed it, not recklessly, not in weakness, but as a calculated, disciplined, relentless force. That's the difference between losers and winners. Losers explode and cry about how unfair life is. Winners use the very same pain to carve out a legacy. Let me say this to you with no fluff, no filters, no fake optimism. Your life will not magically change unless you change your relationship with pain. If you're angry, good, you should be. The world's full of mediocrity. It rewards weakness and punishes excellence. It celebrates comfort and cancels ambition. It teaches boys to cry and obey instead of to conquer and lead. But if you're smart, you'll use that to your advantage. You'll become the anomaly, the exception, the one who doesn't numb himself. You'll recognize that your frustration isn't a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're not content with being average. That's your edge. That's your fuel. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? People around you won't understand it. They'll call you arrogant, toxic, obsessive. They'll try to drag you back to their level because your intensity makes them uncomfortable. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Every second they waste judging you is another second you're building in silence. You're not here to make them feel safe. You're not here to be liked. You're here to become dangerous in the right direction. Anger is a gift when you learn how to hold it like a blade instead of a bomb. This isn't about snapping or losing control. It's about mastery. It's about training your emotions the same way you train your muscles. Through repetition, through pain, through patience. The man who can feel the fire and stay composed, that's the man who wins. That's the man who walks into a room and commands respect without speaking. That's the man who builds an empire while everyone else is still figuring out what they want from life. You think I got here by chance? By being calm and compliant? No. I got here because I knew that the world doesn't give you what you ask for, it gives you what you take. And I took every ounce of anger, every scrap of frustration, and I turned it into discipline. That's how you change your life. Not through soft affirmations, through savage self-respect. I'm telling you now, you're not too far gone, you're not too old, you're not too broken. That anger you feel, that frustration, that's proof that deep inside, there's still a man who wants more. And if you commit, if you stop playing victim and start playing to win, you'll become the kind of man people write stories about. Not because you had it easy, but because you chose to build with the bricks they threw at you. That's power, that's the purpose, that's Tate mindset. I remember being broke, not pretend broke, real broke. The kind where you wake up and the first thing on your mind isn't success or legacy, it's survival. I remember staring at the ceiling of my cheap apartment in a freezing winter, no heat, no food, no future. All I had was my pride, and even that was starting to fade. I didn't have anyone handing me opportunities, no mentor, no investor, no positive environment, just silence, just the sound of failure echoing in my ears every time I checked my bank account and saw zero after zero. And yet, I was more alive in that darkness than most people ever feel in comfort. Because that pain lit something inside me that no motivational video could. That pain demanded that I fight back. Most people in that position fold. They justify their circumstances. They blame the government, their parents, the system, their past. I watched guys I knew, guys who were stronger, smarter, even more talented than me, give up. They drowned their frustration in distractions, booze, video games, chasing validation from women who didn't respect them. They traded the pain of progress for the comfort of stagnation. And every single one of them paid the price. Because pain, when ignored, doesn't disappear, it multiplies. I refused. I looked at my situation, as brutal as it was, and I made a decision. This ends with me, or it ends me. There was no middle ground. You see, success isn't born in sunny days, it's forged in storms. People think becoming successful is about strategy, tactics, investments, followers, funnels, all that nonsense. That's the surface. What it's really about is how you respond when your back is against the wall and there's no one left to call, when the world forgets your name. When you're not trending, when no one's watching, when you're grinding in the dark and no applause is coming. That's where the men are separated from the boys. I didn't need a crowd to clap. I needed a reason to keep moving. And I found that reason in my anger. I wasn't mad at anyone specific. I was mad at being powerless. I hated waking up and feeling like life was happening to me instead of because of me. So I got methodical, not emotional. I turned my pain into a process. Every morning, while the world slept, I trained. Not because it felt good, but because it gave me control. Control over my body, control over my mind, control over the one thing this chaotic world couldn't take from me, my discipline. I didn't care that I wasn't making money yet. I didn't care that I wasn't being recognized. I cared about becoming dangerous. I knew that if I built myself into a machine, eventually someone would have to notice. And if they didn't, fine, I'd still win. Because I'd know that I was no longer a slave to my weakness. And I'll tell you something, when you start winning silently, it scares people. Suddenly, the same people who laughed at your ambition start calling you lucky. They'll pretend they supported you. They'll ask for tips, shortcuts, cheat codes, but they didn't see the hours. They didn't see the meals skipped, the nights alone, the war waged inside your own mind. They only see the outcome, not the origin. But you'll never forget. You'll carry those battles with you, not as trauma, but as armor. Because once you learn to weaponize your struggle, nothing can touch you. Not doubt, not rejection, not fear. My story isn't special. I wasn't chosen. I wasn't born with gifts. I just refused to die in the same place I was born. I refused to let the pain break me. I let it build me. That's the difference. I didn't wait for a miracle. I became one. And if you're watching this thinking your life is too far gone, you're wrong. Your mess can become your motivation. Your chaos can become your compass. The world isn't against you, it's testing you. Every setback is asking one question. Do you actually want this? Or are you just pretending? If you want it, prove it. Use the pain. Turn the story you're living into one people will tell when you're gone. When they speak your name, let it echo with respect because they know what you overcame. Let your rise be so undeniable that the world can't ignore it, even if it tried. That's what I did. It's what I still do. Not because it's easy, but because the alternative is to die forgotten, and I'd rather go out swinging. There's a truth you've been avoiding, and I'm about to rip the bandage clean off. You are running out of time. Every second you waste pretending tomorrow will save you is a second stolen from your future self. And I don't care how uncomfortable that sounds, it should scare you. It should sit in your chest like a ticking bomb, because that fear, that's real. That's what's keeping you mediocre. You've convinced yourself that life is long, that you've got years to figure it out, that success can wait while you enjoy your little vices. But life doesn't care about your feelings. And it certainly doesn't run on your schedule. You think you're safe because you're young? People die young every day. You think you'll get serious next year? Most people never do. That's why they stay invisible. That's why they rot in quiet lives of frustration and regret, because they waited for the perfect time to act and it never came. People live like they're immortal until life punches them in the face. A loved one dies, a job disappears, health declines, and suddenly they realize they've built their existence on sand. But by then, it's too late. Don't be one of those people. Don't wait for a tragedy to wake you up. Let this be your wake-up call. Let this exact moment be the line in the sand where everything changes. Because deep down, you know the truth. You're not where you're supposed to be. You're operating at 30% of what you're capable of, and the rest is being pissed away on comfort, distractions, and excuses. That should piss you off. That should make you clench your jaw and swear to yourself that it ends now. And here's what most people never understand. Fear is not weakness. Fear is power if you use it properly. Fear should sharpen your mind. It should push you to prepare harder, train longer, execute faster. I used to be terrified of being average. The thought of waking up 10 years from now in the same place, same income, same mindset, it haunted me. And I let that fear drive me. I let it fuel every decision. When others were sleeping in, I was working. Not because I was fearless, but because I was more afraid of being relevant than I was of failure. That's the kind of fear you need, not the fear that paralyzes, but the fear that mobilizes. The problem is, most of you have been trained to fear the wrong things. You fear judgment. You fear being misunderstood. You fear starting small. You fear failing publicly. But let me ask you something. What's more terrifying, being laughed at for trying or spending your entire life as a nobody? You fear criticism, but you should fear comfort. You fear stepping into the spotlight, but you should fear dying in the shadow. You fear putting yourself out there, but you should fear waking up at 70 realizing you've done nothing memorable. That's what should haunt you. That's what should keep you awake at night. Not what others think, but what you're becoming by doing nothing. And let's not pretend opportunity lasts forever. The world is moving fast. Every day, someone younger, hungrier, more focused is outworking you. Every day you hesitate is a day you fall further behind. There's someone out there who's willing to suffer more than you, who's training harder, learning faster, taking risks you're still thinking about. He doesn't care about your excuses. He's taking your spot while you debate whether to even show up. You think you're special? Talent means nothing without urgency. Intelligence is useless if it's wasted on indecision. You want to win? Then act like the world is on fire. Because for you it is. But this doesn't have to be a death sentence. This fear, this urgency, it can be your weapon. You can take all that panic and anxiety and transform it into obsession, the kind of obsession that wakes you up before the alarm, the kind that makes you train through pain, the kind that makes you study when your eyes burn. That's the mindset that separates the kings from the cattle. Not comfort, not balance, not self-care, obsession, hunger, fire, fear, redirected with discipline, becomes unstoppable. Let me tell you this, the clock is ticking whether you like it or not. Every second is either building your legacy or burying it. And no one is coming to rescue you. Not your friends, not your parents, not the system. You are the storm, you are the hero, you are the damn blueprint, but only if you accept the cost. Only if you stop running and face the truth. Your life will be exactly what you tolerate. Nothing more, nothing less. So what will it be? Another year of wasted potential? Another excuse? Or will you look in the mirror tonight and finally admit you're done playing games? The choice is yours. But But understand this, regret is far more painful than discipline. And one day, you'll either tell the story of how you made it out, or you'll whisper to yourself how you almost did. Don't let that be your legacy. Let me tell you something most people will never say out loud. Life doesn't reward the weak. The world doesn't give a damn about your struggles, your sadness, or your excuses. It only responds to power. And power comes from doing what others won't. While they complain, you build. While they sleep, you grind. While they drown in comfort, you sharpen your sword in silence. That's how winners are made. Not through luck, not through talent, but through an unshakable refusal to quit. Every man walking this planet who's worth remembering carved his name into history by refusing to stay ordinary. That's what you're capable of. That's what you've been avoiding, because chasing greatness demands pain. It demands you bleed while others laugh. And most men can't stomach that reality. They'd rather live safe and die invisible than fight for something real. You have no idea how close you are to the life you dream of, but you'll never touch it if you keep lying to yourself. You say you want to win, yet you still negotiate with your emotions. One bad day and you fold. One obstacle and you retreat. That's not the mindset of a man destined to conquer. That's the mindset of a victim, someone who needs life to be gentle in order to survive. But I'm here to remind you, greatness isn't born in ease. It's forged in chaos. It's built in the days where everything hurts and you still show up. When your body aches, when your mind screams to quit, but you tighten your jaw and keep going. That's when you evolve. That's when your character is sculpted. If you can push when everything says stop, if you can keep your vision clear through the storms, you become unstoppable. Not because life got easier, but because you got hard. Most people never reach their potential, not because they didn't have what it takes, but because they kept waiting for permission to start. They needed someone to clap for them, to tell them they're good enough, to give them a sign. Let me make it simple. You are the sign. You are the force. You are the revolution your bloodline's been waiting for. No one is coming to save you. And that's a good thing. Because when you realize no one's coming, you stop waiting and start building. You stop blaming and start leading. You stop making excuses and start making history. That's the shift. That's when your mind transforms from that of a boy into that of a warrior, and the world bows to warriors. It fears the man who refuses to break. You want hope? I'll give you real hope. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are just undisciplined, unfocused, and too soft with yourself. And that can be changed today. Right now. You don't need a miracle. You need clarity, urgency, and consistent action. You got time, you got breath, and if you got fire in your chest, you got everything you need. What you lack is commitment. What you lack is grit. But those aren't traits you're born with. They are built through repetition, through showing up when it's inconvenient, through embracing the grind with pride. The man you admire, the man you envy, the man you wish to become, he's not magical. He's just made a decision you haven't yet, to stop negotiating with weakness. Don't you dare think it's too late. I don't care if you're 18 or 48, you can rewrite your legacy, but only if you're willing to outwork your former self. Every mistake you've made, every bad decision, every failure, that's not the end of your story. It's the preface. It's the dirt under your nails before the rise. The only thing that seals your fate is quitting, but as long as you're still breathing, there's fuel in the tank. There's a shot left to take, and I want you to take it like your life depends on it, because it does. A wasted life isn't tragic because of what it was. It's tragic because of what it could have been. That should haunt you in the best way. That should push you harder than any insult, any doubt, any obstacle. You want real power? Build the version of you who doesn't need applause to keep going. Become the man who disciplines himself in private so the world has no choice but to respect him in public. That's strength. That's respect. That's masculinity in its rawest form. Not softness, not submission, not giving in every time you feel low. The world isn't waiting for another follower. It's waiting for someone with backbone, someone who stares down failure, chews on defeat, and keeps swinging anyway. That's the man who gets remembered. That's the man who leads, who builds empires, who becomes the blueprint for generations to come. So I ask you, with every fiber of truth I can offer, when are you going to stop living like you've got time to waste? When will you accept that your life, your story, your destiny is yours to control? Every minute you wait, every excuse you justify, every day you coast, you're feeding the version of you that dies anonymous. And if that doesn't make your blood boil, you're not ready yet. But if it does, if you feel that anger rising, that hunger stirring, that pulse accelerating, then congratulations, you've just met the real you. Now go become him. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when it's more convenient, not after one more distraction, one more delay, one more excuse you dress up as logic. Right now, the clock is ticking, whether you move or not. And if you don't make the decision today, you'll blink and another year of your life will be gone. Wasted just like the last. That same frustration you keep trying to numb with pleasure, that rage inside you, that's not weakness. That's the version of you buried under mediocrity, screaming to break out. The pain is proof you're meant for more. So don't silence it, use it, make it your engine, burn with purpose. Because the world doesn't care about what you plan to do. It only remembers what you actually did. People walk around like they've got infinite time, like there's a guarantee tomorrow's even showing up, and that lie is why they never act. You don't understand how fragile this life is. 1 second, one wrong step, one moment of hesitation, that's all it takes. But you're out here treating every day like it's disposable, like your potential has no expiration date. Let me be brutally honest with you. You're not owed another chance. You're not promised greatness just because you want it. You have to fight for it, earn it through suffering, through sacrifice, through complete dedication. The life you want is being held hostage by the man you refuse to become. Until you take that personally, until you look in the mirror and feel disgusted by your own inaction, you'll stay stuck in that purgatory of almost. There's a warrior inside you, a savage, a man capable of doing everything you dream of and more. But that version of you doesn't come alive with soft affirmations or cozy routines. He's forged through pressure, through discomfort, through doing what you hate with precision and pride. He shows up when you're tired. He gets stronger every time you push through pain instead of avoiding it. He's born when you stop letting weakness run your life. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need permission to become him. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You just need to make a decision right now, a real one. Not the kind where you hype yourself up for a week and then fall back into old habits. I'm talking about a lifelong declaration, a personal vow that nothing, absolutely nothing, is going to stop you from becoming elite. People will try to hold you back. They'll mock your discipline. They'll question your goals. They'll call you obsessed. Let them. Their opinion doesn't pay your bills, build your legacy, or push you forward. Most of them are stuck in lives they secretly hate, and every time you rise, it reminds them of their own failure to act. That's not your burden, that's their prison. Your only job is to keep going, to sharpen your skills so violently that doubt can't survive in the same room. To become so good, so focused, so undeniably excellent that even your enemies can't ignore your presence. That's how you win. Not by asking for validation, but by dominating in silence until your results are so loud, the world has no choice but to listen. The version of you that's lazy, distracted, reactive, soft, he needs to die. Right here, right now, you bury him today, or he buries your potential forever. Those are your only options. Because if you keep feeding him, you'll never taste the power of discipline. You'll never know the confidence that comes from living as a weapon. And years from now, when you look back, you'll feel it. The burn of regret. The ache of knowing you had everything you needed, but not the courage to start. I've seen too many men live that fate. And it breaks them. Quietly. Slowly. Until all that's left is a shell filled with what if. But that doesn't have to be you. You can flip the switch. You can become the leader of your bloodline. You can be the man your future son looks at with pride. The man your enemies fear. The man who wakes up with mission in his veins, fire in his chest, and zero tolerance for failure. It's not reserved for the chosen. It's earned by the relentless. And you can be one of them. You just have to stop negotiating with your limitation. You have to kill the version of you that settles. And you have to choose excellence like your life depends on it. Because it does. So here's your final warning. The life you want is not coming to rescue you. You must go out and take it with rage, with hunger, with absolute focus. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more weakness. Pick your path, greatness or regret. There is no third option, only you can choose. But once you choose, don't look back. Burn the ships, lock in, and fight like hell until the world knows your name. This is the beginning of your legacy. Now go earn it.